Today's video is about data mutation, whether you want to create your data or update your database. We use server actions for submitting the forms in Next.js, and we're gonna talk about dynamic routes in Next.js 14. Okay, why we use server actions? Because it allows users to interact with the form and submit data even if the JavaScript for the form hasn't been loaded yet, or if it fails to load. Let's create a simple project. Okay, let's install Next.js. Okay, now that I've installed this, to see if it's working. Yep, my app is working. Let's throw all the junk files into the trash can. This. So I'm gonna create a sample to demonstrate you better. I'll be right back. While you were gone, I've created a list of users connected to Versal Postgres database, fetched it and show it to the user, put it in a table and show it in columns. And created these two forms. One of them is create form, which takes name, email, and password from the user, and we want to submit a new user using server actions. So to create a new server actions, we gotta pass in this argument to the form, and basically what we want to use here is go here, actions, create a new file, actions.ts. We gotta put use server on top of it, and we're gonna say export async function create user. So let's import it in here, create user. What this form has to this function is a form data of type form data, and when we want to get data, like we get data like name, form data that get data, get, simple get, form data that get email, password, form data that get password. Okay, and let's write our query here. Await SQL. We want to import it from Versal/Postgres. Insert into users, values, users name, email, and password. For the values part, we want to use name, email, and password. Email, oh, I misspelled something. When we hover over something, type file is not assignable to type primitive. That's why, because let's write a catch block, and new error, couldn't create a new user. We have to validate our column in order to get rid of this error. Let's create another function, validate inputs. That's not a bad name. Get form data of type form data. Let's move all these in here, and let's type check them all. If type of name is not string, or type of email is not string, type of password is not string. I don't want to show anything, throw new error, invalid inputs. Otherwise, just give me name, email, and password. Do we have to null check? No. These are all types of strings. Okay, let's call validate inputs, give them a form data, and we want to fetch email, password. Now we have completed this. The server action should call this function, insert it into database, and hopefully show this message: created a new user. I want to give this type safety, redirect, next navigation to my home page. So, oh, we've missed something. We see this list, and when we want to say create, we want our this form, create form, to be rendered in a different page. So how to do that is by going into create slash page.tsx, create user page. Let's just render our form here. User create form, actions save. Everything seems okay. Let's check all that. Click create. It moves us to the create function. Choose a name, for example, Riza. Let's use one of my emails. When we hit create user, what would happen is, yeah, it creates the user. That's right, that is working. Another thing, let's hash our passwords, because we don't want our user's password to be exposed in the database. So we use a library called bcrypt. We have to install its type as well, pni types. Well, we have to save as a dev dependency. Let's check our package.json file. Yeah, what this package does, it hash our user password. We want to use this function called hash from bcrypt.js. Let's create a variable here, hashed password, hash password 12. On line of 14, we want to use the hashed version of the password. We have to use await. So yeah, basically that's it. In this video, we created a mess of validating our data. We used SQL to connect our database. We used server actions. Remember, why we use server actions is because if the JavaScript is disabled, user can still interact with our form and submit content and data to it. Also, for your practice, I've created this form, edit form, which is a duplicate of the previous create form and gets all those three parameters as inputs. And for your practice, you can create a new function called update user and create a new route for your page, and you have to bind actions and send user ID alongside with other form data. In the next video, I'm gonna cover error state and loading state and the form validation. Thanks for watching.